Hello, my girls. So we're just going to review a couple things from class and then add on. Obviously, just reminding you that an upside down parabola is based on having a negative x squared quadratic versus a upward pointing parabola, right, where it's more like a bowl, is a positive x squared. We know this formula, right? Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and in this case, the c is the y-intercept. So that could be here, but it's on the y-axis, right? That's our y-intercept. So we talked about that today. The other thing, just to recap, is that depending on what factor you have on the quadratic, on the x squared, you can have a much more narrow if it's a higher number and much more wide if it's a lower number, meaning less than 1, width, if you will, of the quadratic. And today we also started to look at using the formula to find the axis of symmetry, which is basically saying what is the x value, right? What does x equal at the center point here? So what is that axis of symmetry, okay? So we have a formula for that, which is x equals negative b over 2a. So that's where we've gotten today. What I want to do now is step through with you, remind you of one basic thing that we've done before, kind of bring back. Remember when we had, y equals 2x squared plus 4x, let's say minus 9, and I said, or if it's f of x equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 9, and we said what is, and asked you to solve for f of, say, 1, or f of 0, or f of negative 3. Remember that? And what you do is you substitute in this value here, right, for the x, and you solve and figure out what is that value. So basically, we're going to take 2 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 9. Or, in this case, it would be 2 times 0 squared, which obviously is 0, plus 4 times 0 minus 9. Or 2 times negative 3 squared. See how in each case, depending on what I'm trying to solve for, I'm substituting in the f value of the function here and figuring out what do I get. So here I'm going to get 2 plus 4 is 6 minus 9, negative 3. Here I'm going to get negative 9. And here I'm going to get, this is positive 9, so 18 plus negative 12 be negative 6 minus 9 is going to be negative 15. So there you go. Remember that? Given a function like this, f of x, you substitute in the value of the x into here, and then you solve. And these are 3 different problems I'm showing you here. Okay? 3 totally different problems, all based on the same original quadratic formula. The reason I bring this back up to you is that what we're going to do now is if you're given a formula, an equation like this, f of x or y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 1, what we do is we take this form and we figure out what is our a. So we know a is 2, b is negative 8, and c is 1. And we're going to use the axis of symmetry formula and solve first. This is what we just did today, right? And I'm going to figure out that it's negative 8, but it's negative b. So negative negative 8 over 2 times 2. So I get 8 over 4. And my axis of symmetry is x equals 2. Okay? What we're trying to do is to figure out, because you asked this question in class, this is the vertex, right? And we're trying to find out, if we wanted to know what is the coordinate of the vertex, what we're going to do, this is what we're solving for, coordinate of the vertex coordinates. So what you do first is you solve for the axis of symmetry, and we get 2. That's my x value. So I know that a coordinate is x comma y, so 2 comma something. Now, to solve for the y, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that f of x, and I'm going to say, if x equals 2, what is y? And then copy the formula, so 2x squared minus 8x plus 1. And now I'm going to solve for what is f of 2. So f of 2 is 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 1. And I'm going to keep solving this. So I'm going to get 2 squared is 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. Plus 1 equals negative 7. And this function is the same thing as saying y equals, right? So my y equals negative 7. So I know that my x equals 2 and my y equals negative 7. So I'm going to put that in here. And this is the coordinate of the vertex. My answer is 2, negative 7. Okay? So let's do another, and let's start from the top, okay? If you're given the instruction, find the coordinates of the vertex of the graph, and you've got a quadratic equation like this, what you want to do is remember that you've got ax squared plus bx plus c. Oops, that's a c. So y equals that. And the first thing you want to do is you want to solve for your x value. So x equals what? We're going to use our axis of symmetry formula for that. Negative b over 2a. I know that a equals, in this case, negative 1, right? That's this. And b equals negative 6. That's this. Oopsie. Didn't change things. And c equals negative 8. Now, substitute in, right? Negative b. So negative, and then b is negative 6 over 2 times a, 2 times negative 1. So I get 6 over negative 2, so that answer is negative 3. So my x value is x equals negative 3. Now I want to solve for y, and how I solve for y is I take this y value, I replace it with f of x, and I copy the same formula. And then what I'm going to solve for actually is f of negative 3 using this guy over here, right? Using this. I'm going to substitute that in right here. Okay? So, negative, and now I've got x squared, so it's negative 3 squared, minus 6 times negative 3, minus 8. I'm going to keep solving here. So f of negative 3 is negative times 9, and this would be positive 18 minus 8. And I'm just going to keep going. Order of operations, remember? PEMDAS, exponents, then multiply, then add, subtract. I believe we get, 1 here. So this is the same thing as y. So now y equals positive 1. So my answer is negative 3x comma y, 1, right? And this is the coordinate of the vertex. So watch this through again if you need to. We're going to do some of these in class tomorrow. And remember, the next thing you want to do is work on your test corrections.